Hello, it's Jerry here again. Um, Again to discuss another facet of Benocracy. Today I want to look at messages we've received from different songwriters, films, books, etc. Warnings for us all. Maybe we should be paying more heed to, especially now in these really troubled times. This must be the 14th or 15th video that I've made, or rather that we've made. My nephew Luke McKeever has done a fine job in formatting these presentations, and I want to take this opportunity to thank him very much. Thanks a lot, Luke. Really appreciate it. You possibly know by now that I want to get Benocracy off the ground. You may know why, and you may know how. But the one overriding point is not how do we do it, or to ask yourself, can it work? I've said before that the main point I want to make is that we should be talking about this Benocracy. It's the only answer out there that I can see to systemically change things. I suppose Benocracy is a new message, but we have been warned for years by different people through different media. Some of these present very different messages. They range from pacifists to what we call conspiracy theorists. I've just rewatched Don't Look Up. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. It's available on Netflix. Entertaining, funny, but much more importantly, it contains a vital message. It suggests that the Earth will be wiped out by a meteor in 6 months and 14 days from the day that the meteor was discovered in the sky. Its message exists as a parallel for global warming. But to me, it also acts as a parallel for the collapse of our societies. For me, the strength of Benocracy is that it can attempt to combat global warming and attempt to rescue our societies. A few seconds ago, I referred to conspiracy theorists. For me, there's a great scene, one of many great scenes in the movie Don't Look Up. The skater kids are discussing conspiracy theories in the park, and Jennifer Lawrence's character comes up with what I think was a real nugget. She says, referring to the cabals that the skater kids think are plotting to take over the world, they're not even smart enough to be as evil as you're giving them credit for. I think that she is completely right. I don't think, and I could be wrong, that these cabals, plots, and in extreme theories, lizard people exist. Plots are not necessarily when existing financial and political systems are geared to making the 1%, 2%, 3%, etc. richer and enslaving many. This, to me, is a very simple conspiracy theory, and I think it's the one that's going on. While many people are busy looking at cabals, plots, lizard people, etc., I think they're taking their eye off what's happened really in front of them. It's much simpler. Jennifer Lawrence is right. They're not that clever. They don't have to be. They're simply taking everything. If I'm right, they're not smart enough to be as evil as many give them credit for, but even worse, they really don't have to be. I'm looking for a massive concerted effort to ignite Benocracy, to ignite what I call a democratic revolution. I want to recruit from everywhere, from all strata of society. I want the benevolent and reasonable millionaire and billionaire who believes that things should be fair. This will be better for them and their children. It'll give them a society to live in, a society where they may not have to live in fear that violence, fascism will take away all they have, all they've earned through hard effort and honest endeavour. I want many of the 35% of voters who no longer come out to vote. I've said before, many of these voters don't come out to vote because they think there's no one worth voting for. Let's give these good people to vote for. Let's get them out again in the political arena. I want many of the 65% of people who vote, that still vote, who are looking for something better, who look down the ballot sheet and see names and think, that man will have to do because he's the best there is. And I want the activists who should realise that if we can find good people for good people to vote for, good people to govern us, many of their goals, the activist goals, will be realised. And I want what we call conspiracy theorists. If I'm right, and Jennifer Lawrence's character is right, egregious, greedy governments, let me say I'm not necessarily saying that all governments work this way, are facilitating a very simple conspiracy. The hyper wealthy are taking it all. I can't see another route, another tool to turn this around. For me, Benocracy is the only viable prescription. It's probably the only prescription out there. Whether the medicine can work or not, I don't know. But surely we've got to try something. Again, fail we may, seal we must. There are messages everywhere. On TV and movie. Don't look up. The social dilemma. The spider's web. Look at the messages of some of the great songwriters through the years. On the back of my book, I list an eclectic list of songs, all with messages for us. I'm putting them up here now on the screen at the moment. Listen to Chris Rea's Road to Hell Part 1, Part 2, predicting a 1984 type scenario. George Michael's Praying for Time. Eagles, Last Resort. Basically profiling the history of America through the years where greedy people have taken everything over. Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. Manic Street Preachers, If You Tolerate This, Your Children Will Be Next. I could go on. Films, documentaries, books, songs. Even more vivid, take a look at what's going around you. Take a look at what's going on in neighbouring countries who perhaps are worse than the country you're in at the moment. But are you far behind them? More vivid than documentaries or songs are the injustices and fairnesses that are going on around us. Look at what may be happening to you yourself at the moment, or potentially think about the fate that awaits your children. Please don't find yourself in 3 to 6 years' time regretting not doing something or saying something, or even just regret not pressing your share button to get this message out there. Don't regret not possibly bringing up Benocracy in the next conversation you have about dysfunctional government and about where we're going, how terrible things are. Press your share button now. Preferably buy the book. Do something. It's not the things that we do in life that we regret most, but the things that we don't. Maybe you're not the type to be an activist, but you can press your share button for this video and other videos. You can subscribe to my channel. But like I've said before, step one, let's just talk about this proactive idea. Instead of just having our usual Groundhog Day tirade every day, perhaps I'll ask you to do something very actually practical for me now to help me out. If you agree with my message, that is. I'll send my book to a number of media outlets, newspapers, radio channels, etc. In America, in England and Ireland. I've not heard back from any. There could be all sorts of reasons for this. I have no profile. I have no social media profile, which is probably the most important thing at the moment. I have no qualifications. I have no letters after my name. I'm not an academic. I'm not a journalist. Radio stations, newspapers probably get books every day from people and probably don't have time to look at them all. Maybe if they have looked at it, because I've normally sent explanatory letters to explain what the book's about, they think it's a non-runner, they think it doesn't make any sense, they think I'm silly, perhaps. Perhaps it's something more cynical though. This is really, Benocracy is a subversion of what's going on at the moment with many countries. A subversion of the way they're run. Many of these media outlets receive license fees from governments. Perhaps they don't want to rock the boat. Perhaps there's an element of that in it. Maybe I'm a little bit paranoid here, maybe it's a little bit cynical, but maybe that's what's going on too. But even if radios or newspaper people feel that the idea is pie in the sky or a non-runner, would it not be useful to at least, on these media, to discuss Benocracy from even only from a theoretical or academic angle, a theoretical or academic point of view? Would it not perhaps be better to engage on this proactive concept? Perhaps this is what you could do for me. Perhaps you could contact by email, whatever, different media outlets to let them know this idea is out there, to inform about a book, to inform them about the video channel, etc. Please help me out, do your bit here if you can. Thanks very much for listening to me again. My book is available on Amazon. It's available in hard copy and ebook. Hope you read it. These videos perhaps are like a new book in a sense. They're elaborations on what I've said in my book. My book contains more detail on some topics. So the videos actually have gone further, discussing some angles of Benocracy in the book has. Please, again, do your bit for me. Thank you very much. All the best. Good luck.